Hey guys, I am back. Welcome to the SimRacingPaddock. I'm William Marsh, and we are going to be test driving a conversion to Assetto Corsa. So, one of the more popular sim racing titles in the mid to late 2000s was GT Legends, which was developed by Simbin, sort of the predecessor to Sector 3 Studios, and this has actually been ported quite a few times. It was ported to GTR2 as well as ported to rFactor, and now we can add Assetto Corsa to that list with Assetto Corsa Legends. Now, conversions and porting can be a little tricky in terms of legality and logistics. Generally, what I've found is if you own the title being ported, then I think it can be relatively okay with ports. But also, this has not only just been ported, but it's also been drastically improved, models enhanced, sounds enhanced, so, or from what I've heard so far. So I think this is okay. Generally, Simbin's been okay with their previous works being ported as well, so at least that's a good thing. So the Assetto Corsa Legends mod is split into 3 packs. I'll be looking at one of the main packs right now, which is the GT pack. There's also the prototype pack and another one I can't remember off the top of my head. This includes 10 cars originally from GT Legends. So the ACL Bmw Csl 3.5, the Chevrolet Corvette 1967 and 1969, the De Tomaso Pantera, the Ferrari 365 GTB, Ford Capri, the Porsche RSR 74, the 906 Porsche, the Nissan Gtr 2000, and the Shelby Daytona. Note that actually the ACL Porsche RSR, that is utilizing a model from Cuna Simulazioni. So this actually requires you to be able to use this car. You need the Porsche Pack 3, I believe. Or it's the Porsche Pack 2 or Porsche Pack 3. So you would need that pack, and then you would take the Kunos model and drag the KN5 files into the folder. So that's kind of like a DRM requiring you to own the pack to be able to use this car. If you don't have the car, I bet you could just delete this car from the pack and you would be able to use it okay. So when I was driving in GT Legends, I always loved the Pantera. It was just a fun car. So let's give this a try. And I want to see how well this is actually made. And I think I'm going to take this to Laguna Seca. So Laguna Seca has a very active historic car culture. They have, it's the Pebble Beach Concourse and also the historic races at Laguna Seca. So I think it's a good fit for a first test. Just want to make sure video settings are good, and we will launch. So hopefully everyone is having a great week so far. Sorry for being kind of delayed on doing videos. On like late Friday, early Saturday, I just got hit hard with a cold, and then I thought I was over it, but boom, I get smacked again. So I am happy to be getting over this cold, and yeah, so you can still hear a little bit in my voice though, which is unfortunate, but it's life. So okay, I hear the sound. Does sound very similar to how it was in GT Legends, I think. Which is not a bad thing. Really liked the sound of the V8 car in GT Legends, so if this sounds any bit the same as this, then I'm gonna be happy. GT Legends is a great sim for people looking for historic cars. So, yeah, GT Legends, great choice, Fluff. Let's turn up the sound a bit. Trying to make sure to heel and toe with this car, because historic car, you want to heel and toe as I overshoot that corner. And yes, it looks like tires are starting off cold, so let's get some heat into them. Random question, is anyone else hearing the crackling and the sound? I don't think it's my audio interface. I'm not sure though. Sometimes my audio interface crackles a bit. I need to update the driver on it, I think. But I don't know if it's the crackling in the sounds for this car, or is it my audio interface. If it's in the car, that would be my one complaint with this. But the feeling is very reminiscent. Hold on a second. The feeling... I don't want to be clipping with this, with my mic. The sounds of this and the feeling of it are bringing back pleasant memories of GT Legends. They really were able to encapsulate the feeling of these cars in Assetto Corsa pretty well. And it has a decent slip angle. You're able to get some slide in the tires. That does not sound as a De Tomaso. Sorry. I've only heard a couple in real life, and I thought this sounds pretty close. Because I've been to the Sonoma Raceway historic races, and they had a few Panteras. So we'll do one more lap. Fair enough, Mario. So one more lap, and then we'll listen to some of the exterior sounds and then jump into the next one. Fish. This is a free mod. I just realized I think I forgot to add a link into the description. Before we jump into the next car, I will add the link. But I do want to add a disclaimer. So this mod was worked on by the group of people at F1 Classic, which is an older sim racing community, and it's like something to be forewarned is sometimes some of the work on that site can be somewhat sketchy, to put it straightforward. But the thing is that generally these conversions and works from GT Legends, they are approved by the community. So that's why I'm willing to test this one out. But yeah, so as mentioned, I'd say if you own GT Legends, I'd say you'd be okay. That's sort of my policy with conversions. So yeah, this car feels pretty good. Drivable. Really reminds me of the Pantera in GT Legends. So let's hear the exterior sounds on this. The model looks good. Still that crackling, which is a little upsetting. Decent throaty V8 growl. It's a fun car. Really liked it in GT Legends, and I like it in this pack. So let's jump into another car. I want to check something real quick. So you actually drove one? So let's see. Turn on display capture again. There we go. So that was the first car in that we will test out. And then let's go and test out the BMW CSL. And let's take this to Donington Park. Should be a fun combo. Not gonna do the full GP course. Okay, here we go. Turn off the display capture. And away we go. Let me do something real quick. Yeah, I just don't know why there's so much crackling in the sound. I think this sounds close to like the other CSLs. So this car is a lot more, has a lot more pep in it because this is a lighter car, I think. So you can just see it has a lot more acceleration. So I think, yeah, this car has a lot more pep, get up and go. So one of the things they were like touting as one of the features was each car has different physics, which that's kind of the point. Each car is supposed to have different physics. But yeah, this car has a nice feel to it. Only 5 gears in it though. Likely should stay in third for turn 1. But yeah, compared to the other BMWs, or like the classic BMWs in Assetto Corsa, I think this one sounds a little better. It has a little more dimension of depth to the sound. It sounds a little more three-dimensional, I think. Wider soundstage, somewhat. Fun car though, really fun. I'm currently driving the BMW CSL. And wow, okay, I carried way too much speed into that chicane. Okay, so let's get a good hot lap in. Really good feeling the weight transfer in here. You can really feel the rear end step out, catch that slide, and keep going. There we go. Love the shifting sounds on this. Yeah. Oh, that felt like so much fun. We'll listen to the exterior for a bit. So it seems like the sound samples are pretty good. It just sounds like there's almost too much of a reverb effect kicked in. And it just gets really distorted. It's like the sound modder thought that reverb means more realistic, and that's not always the case. The external sounds sound pretty good, but it just sounds way, way too messy. How much force feedback I have on? I want to say it's at around like 30%, or maybe like 25% strength on this open sim wheel. And consider this is the large midge open sim wheel, so yeah. But force feedback's pretty good. Gives a good connection of the tires and the suspension on what's going on. So yeah, it just sounds like there's way too much reverb in that external angle. And it does sound like it's in a tunnel, like not on a racetrack. So good car, fun to drive, external sounds just aren't mixed right. So let's jump into, let's go American Muscle, the Corvette. And for this, I'm going to take it around Donington Park because I want to show the difference in the nuances, because that BMW CSL, lightweight, very, very agile, and this is going to be slightly different. I'll just let the sound speak for itself at first. So this is definitely a V8 in terms of sounds, but it feels like there's something missing. It feels like there's that extra oomph of grunt that just isn't there. But especially at the high end, it seems like it's not as raw or visceral, which is somewhat disappointing because, yeah, I've had friends who've owned this generation Corvette in high school, and they always would show off the sounds. And yeah, granted, road car Corvette would sound different than race car Corvette, but it just seems like it's a little off. Yes, this is the red Corvette from GT Legends. But you notice it's not handling the corners as quick. There might be more torque in the car, so this car would work better on straights, I think. But in corners, it's more of a handful. So this is going to, this would be interesting for balance of power. This car would handle better on straights, I bet, like here. The power kicks in from the big V8. But I'd say the BMW could beat it at corners. So that's one of the great things with series like this. Balance of power. Different driving styles for different cars. So I want to say we got like a 114 or something with that CSL. Little wide there. Later on I wanted to take a look at the prototype mod, but I just wanted to focus on the GT mod at this point in time. This thing does feel like a blast. And it's fun because this thing will step out from you. You will get into a slide, but then you can catch that slide. Oh, Chaparral, man. Always love seeing those at like Sonoma or on TV at Laguna Seca. I want to make my way over to the Laguna Seca historic races someday. Even though I live about 2.5 hours from Laguna Seca, I've never seen a race there. But yeah, slide, slide, and catch. Okay, hot lap time. Right here, you start feeling the pressure on the suspension as the suspension just compresses. That's one of the things that's actually pretty good with the force feedback in Assetto Corsa. You can feel the suspension compress at the car going under load. It's not my favorite force feedback in sim racing, but it's definitely good force feedback. And then feeling the force feedback rumble over the curves. Totally missed a corner. You have to remember, these are old car brakes. Old car brakes. I'm so used to like the GT3 car racing with this, and you brake at about the bottom of that downhill. That won't work with this car. You have to brake earlier. Especially this is a heavy Corvette with Corvette race car brakes. You gotta remember that. This is so much fun. feeling the car wanting to push itself out. And I will add a link to description. I accidentally kept on forgetting. I was just having so much fun with these cars. So in a minute, I will put the link in the description. Sorry for forgetting at first. So brake around that point. But feel that slide out to the outside. So much fun. Let's listen to the exterior because the BMW sounds were disappointing. Let's listen to this. Very, very digitized sounds, but it's not horrible. So while you guys are watching exterior at the moment, I will add the link to the description. So hold on a second. Just had to find where it is now. There it is. Okay, the link is now in the description. If you refresh the link, you should be able to find it. Or if you refresh the stream, you should be able to have the link. Or wait, hold on a second. Changes not saved. There we go, now it's saved. Assetto Corsa is on sale at Steam. That is one of the great parts of the Steam Summer Sale. Steam Summer Sale is live, so a lot of racing titles are on sale. So let's go to the next car. So we have already driven the De Tomaso Pantera, BMW Csl, and now the 1969 Corvette. Let's go for a little Japan with the Nissan Gtr. I like that 51 livery. And for there, let's find a good track to drive it on. After the GTR, we will go with the Capri. That's another car I'm excited to test out. For the heck of it, let's do the Nürburgring GT. Mario, wait your turn. Alrighty. I have no clue if this is realistic sound, but I like the sound of it. Definitely has that JDM 6-cylinder tuner car sound to it. Get the rear end to step out, control that slide. Sounds like this thing wants to just howl. Oh, and the handbrake does work with this car. Sounds do sound a bit compressed. That's one of the frustrating things with some mod cars. It's just that sometimes sounds are compressed. They don't have access or the like resources available to have like the full raw files. So this car is pretty nimble, not to the extent of that BMW CSL though. So tires up to temp in about 1 lap. We are sort of sliding all over. And it looks like the V70 that's saying like, yeah, the vintage 70s tires on. Little lockup up there. I am enjoying this car. I'd say not as much as that BMW though. Currently, I'd say that BMW is at the top of my list for favorite car of this pack. The interior sounds were good. Exterior were a bit lackluster. The car was very nimble. I really enjoyed that part of the car. This is maybe my third favorite so far. Second favorite, I think, would be the Pantera. So at the end of this lap, we will take a look at the exterior sounds and how they are. And across the line. And then let's go to the replay. So for this car, it does have the appropriate amount of reverb. It doesn't sound like it's in a tunnel. Sounds like the sounds were actually mixed properly. Ran a little wide there. Just a little bit. We can tell the rear end steps out a bit, but it's definitely drivable. I like how it's an actual loose setup. And then you can rely on counter steer and get the car pointed where you want it. We can tell the car looks pretty well planted on the road. The car models, despite being originally from like 2005, it actually looks like it fits well in Assetto Corsa. So they did a good job enhancing the models, which is nice. It's kind of funny that I'm thinking about comparisons to the DRM Revival mod. So, thinking about the DRM Revival mod, it was this mod that was really hyped up, but in the end, it just felt like it had way too many issues, especially for a payware mod. This mod is free, and I think this mod outperforms the DRM Revival mod. This has more cars. Granted, it's not Group 5 racing, it's GT Legends. But I think this, in terms of quality, might outperform the DRM Revival mod. So, interesting thinking about that. Would like your guys' opinions on that. So now, as promised, we will be going with the Shelby Cobra. I'm kidding. I want to take a look at the liveries, though, for this. See which ones are included. So, the number 4, 53. Ooh, I might go with that one, actually. The 90. Nice old historic 3 car. This one is giving me shades of like the Castrol Supra in the Super GT series. The manufacturer livery. Yeah, we're going with the 53. Hey, Buzz and Hornet. Thanks for dropping in. So let's see where to take this. Let's go Riverside. Classic racetrack for a classic American race car. I'm just going to get a little bit of fluids in real quick because still recovering from that cold. That thing just kicked my butt. Alrighty. This sounds better than the DRM Revival version of the Capri. Ford's American. I'm kidding. British model of an American car, or American manufacturer. Let's just go with that. I don't really know Riverside that well, so I want to learn this. Oh, that was a nice slide. But the sounds for this car, I seriously think sound better than the DRM Revival version of this car. I know it's not the same car, but this sounds a little better, I think. This is not Rallycross. This is a historic track that used to be in California until they freaking bulldozed it for a shopping parking lot. Except I did go a little off-road there, so. Long straightaway. This is really a lot of fun, though. I think the sounds for this are seriously better than the DRM Revival. DRM Revival version of this car was one of my favorite sounding versions of this car. And then the port to Assetto Corsa, something just sounded off. This, at the very least, sounds like it has depth to it. Winston Cup Series banner. Don't see that every day anymore. Little rear tire lockout. I know it's not the same Capri, it's just that I think DRM Revival Team borked the sounds. Yeah, I do not know this track well. Web Guy Mike, been doing okay. Just got knocked on my butt with a bad cold the other day. But at least I had that Xbox I won to tide me over. But it was like, my voice was shot. It was like this. And, ugh. My voice sounded even worse than it is now. Thanks, Mike, for subscribing. It's fun attacking this first straightaway. But then it's like, nope. Missed that corner. I'll have to spend some time learning this track because this is so much fun, though. It really does remind me a little of like Sonoma, how Sonoma is, the long layout, just all the elements of it exaggerated. For lack of a better term. Okay, you were asking for some rallycross earlier. That did not work. But yeah, think about it. There's the carousel in Sonoma Raceway. That's somewhat similar to this. There's the hairpin at Sonoma after the end of a straight. And this isn't exactly a hairpin, but it's a U-turn. Or that's more like the NASCAR version of the hairpin-ish. Where it swings out and then in. This long straight, like the drag strip. I'm just mad that they tore it down to make it into a parking garage or parking lot or something. Couldn't they have at least made something cool out of it? But at least we get to drive it now in sim racing. This thing just wants to push out there. This is Riverside International Raceway. So Riverside is in Southern California near Los Angeles in Orange County. But yeah, you should be able to find this track in Race Department. Gonzalo, that is interesting. I have not heard about that, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. So one of the nice things with ISI, or not ISI, but the rFactor engine is that it can be outsourced to different companies. So rFactor wasn't just made popular because of it being a solid moddable platform, but also the game engine that powered it. So think about it. ISI Motor 2 engine was used in GTR 2, GT Legends, Race 07, Automobilista, Cope de Marcus, or whatever that other title was made. I forget the name. It was also used by professional race teams. So many different groups used ISI Motor 2, except not RBR. RBR did not use it, I don't think. RBR used their own engine. But yes, so ISI made so much money off of those licenses and off of their engine, especially when it comes to like studios using it, or not studios, race teams using it. So technically they're using rFactor Pro, which isn't directly affiliated with Image Space Incorporated Studio 397, but they did license it and enhance it. So yeah, rFactor really played in the ways of working out to really flesh out like racing as a whole, if you think about it. RBR uses G-Motor? I find that highly unlikely, given that Richard Burns' Rally uses a completely different file structure. I'll look into it, but yeah, I'd be surprised. I'll check, Mario. But yeah, also another fun fact. For the 2008 movie Speed Racer, that actually used the ISI Motor 2 engine. So the ISI Motor 2 engine actually utilized or helped render some of the special effects in a Hollywood blockbuster movie. Or maybe not blockbuster, but like a high caliber movie. Now I'm starting to get the hang of this track. Such a fun track. Should do some like online races here. Good opportunities for overtaking, side-by-side drag racing. I always got on the brakes too early there, though. So after this lap, I will jump out of this car and we will listen to the exterior. So I think this is my new second favorite car of the mod. BMW is still top for me, but I think that the Capri is still a great car. And a cross the line. So let's listen to these exterior sounds. Exterior sounds for this are the most hit or miss that I've found out of anything of this mod. Physics for the most part are pretty good, but exterior sounds and interior sounds too are a little off, which can happen with conversions. Again, this sounds better than some of the others. This is a well done mod track though. It really is. It is a well done third party track. Especially considering that the source material for this track is no longer in existence. Just feels like it is well made. I mean, you're never gonna have a laser scanned Riverside Raceway. Little wide there. But yeah, I'm liking this car. Still not as much as the BMW in my opinion, but this is I'd say a pretty close second, all things considered. Exterior sounds for this are better than the BMW though, I think. This doesn't sound like it's stuck in a tunnel or something. But yeah, this is an enjoyable car. So, props to this one. Now we will jump into the Porsche. Or a Porsche. There are two Porsches in this mod. So we will do the battle of the Porsches. So let's go to AC Legend. Let's start off with the RSR. So again, this utilizes the Kuno Simulazione model. This is so to get this car working, you will need to drop the car model files from the Kunos car into the folder for this. The descriptions are in the README, so you are going to want to read the README for this mod. It will provide the instructions on how to make sure you can properly use this car. So let's take a look. Let's take it to Spa. The only thing that would make it better if there was a historic Spa in Assetto Corsa. So let's hear this flat six sound. I think this uses the same as the Kuno sounds. Sounds extremely similar, if not identical. Yeah, that little click at the disengagement. This uses identical sounds to Kunos. We'll see if the physics are similar too. Remember, on Wednesday evenings in the US, we have the sim racing system with the actual Kunos the actual Assetto Corsa RSR. So, yeah. Will, aren't you keen on using a dashboard display or for telemetry, considering you have a state-of-the-art setup? Accessories would match perfectly. Check my review out. I do have a dashboard. So I have the Renovatio SRD-9C V2. I'm not using it right now, but I do have it. I need to figure out some problems with my computer. My right monitor just died, actually, so I need to send that out for repair or replacement. But I do have a dash display. So this feels just about identical to the first party RSR, which is not a bad thing. Little wide, which I think I did race this at Spa last week, if I remember correctly. Week 1, I think, was at Spa. This might be a hair faster, though. But yeah, my shift points feel near identical to what I was driving in my race last week. There is Classic Spa for AC. I meant like if they had a first party Classic Spa. But I'll have to take a look at the Classic Spa mod track. I think Jimmy Broadbent, he talks highly about it. But I'm enjoying the feel of this car. I think I would place it behind the Capri, though. I think the Capri feels slightly better. Which is saying something, because this feels near identical to stock Kunos content. Any news on Field VR? Honestly, I haven't been hearing much from them. They made the big promotional media campaign and then they've been largely quiet. I did read around end of May or early June that they're working on a smartphone app to integrate with your wheel and change settings. Which, that could be cool if it's done properly, but I'm just hoping that doesn't come out as a gimmick or something. So, I'm still extremely concerned about the Field VR wheel. I really hope it is good, but it just seems like the company is making more and more questionable decisions. The price rise about, I think they raised the price 20% or something like that. Okay, that was a good lap. Let's listen to the exterior sounds. I'm not expecting any major surprises here, though. I was expecting this to sound basically the same as Kunos sounds, and I'm right. Sounds like the Kunos sounds. Cameron Sim Racing. Yep, they did make a lot of money. Let's hope they do the right thing with that money. We've still yet to see a production run or anything resembling that. Like, when I got to see Field VR, they had, I want to say, 3 or 4 prototype wheels. So they had 3 or 4 prototype, as I mentioned, one of them, boom, went up in smoke. They said it was, I think what they told me was it was a screw was touching the motherboard or something, and it was like, pew. So, yeah, it's like, eh. But at the very least, they fixed that problem from what I heard. So, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll be able to test out another prototype in the near future, yeah. Porsche 962C, yes it does. So, this does not include the KN files as mentioned. This does not include the KN5 files. So what you have to do is you have to own the Porsche Pack DLC with this car, and then you would grab the KN files from that, copy it, and add it into the mod. So that's to ensure that you actually have paid Kunos for the pack and are able to supply those files, which I think that's a cool move from them. Can we join mods in AC? So basically, if you're doing a race, then you would just pick the car classes and choose the cars you want to take place in a race. I think that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I like this car. Feels really good. Re-downloading mod to read PDF instructions. Well, the instructions are pretty important for this mod, to be able to drive the Porsche. So we will go into the second Porsche now, the 906. And can you join the mod with the prototypes mod? I don't fully understand what you mean by that. Like, do you mean like put the two in the same folder or something? I don't know. So, any news on ACC? Not since I've last heard. Not since I've last heard anything. I know that I think people were able to test it out at the Misano race for the Blancpain GT3 series. But beyond that, I'm not really sure. I have no clue if this sound is realistic, but at least it sounds decent. When am I going to install... Are you talking about that dynamic lighting mod that allows you to do night stuff? I'm planning on trying that later this week. Gonzalo, yes, there are significant differences. I have made a couple videos talking about it, I think, where the thing with force feedback is I don't think we're ever going to have the true feeling of real life, because the thing is, we're missing the seat of the pants feeling in sim racing. So the thing is that force feedback is designed to compensate for that. You're not gonna feel like some of the forces through the wheel in a sim that you would feel in real life, and vice versa. If a sim wheel was identical to what you would feel driving a real life car, then it would be very boring and not very communicative, because the seat of the pants feeling is used more to communicate while driving in a real car. So the seat of the pants feeling is kind of, hold on a second, I had an alarm clock go off. So the seat of the pants feeling is translated into your hands through the steering wheel. Sorry about that, I had an alarm clock going off. I forgot to turn it off, so that's why I got a little distracted right there. But yeah, so the seat of the pants gets translated to your hands. So the thing is, force feedback is open to interpretation. Force feedback is open to interpretation, and those three words is why we have so many different feelings. That's why iRacing feels different than Assetto Corsa, which feels different than Project Cars 2, which feels different from Race Room, from Automobilista, from rFactor 2, etc. Force feedback is different because it is subjective. There's no true objective way to really have your force feedback. You can take the data, but how that data is interpreted is open to discussion. So that's sort of my thought on it. That's why force feedback can be so different going from title to title. You have to get contact manager AC stuff for the dynamic lighting. Okay, thanks for that heads up. I'll look at it later on. Right now we're looking at this mod. SimRacingPaddock Porsche race tonight. Yes, I am. That is in an hour. So we're gonna have to finish up these cars, and I'm gonna have to build up the stream, or I'll just carry the stream over. But I can't really do much beyond that, unfortunately. Whoa, what is going on? What is going on here? What the heck? Hold on a sec. What was that? Where's the render stats? We'll take a look at that. That was so weird. This car is the Porsche 906. Porsche 906. So I'm just doing the render stats in case that weird issue comes up again. But yeah, this car is so much fun. This really does sound like a, it almost sounds like a Ford Cosworth V8. Oh wow, thank you Michael Clark, thank you for that. But yeah, Hump Day Hamburger. But yeah, it's, the sound, well this is, I think, either V8 or flat 8. It might be a V8, which is maybe unusual by today's standards for Porsche. But it sounds like that race car V8. I did not download the prototype pack. I'm saving that for another stream. 1.9 liter flat 6. Then why are there 8 stacks at the back of this? I could have sworn. Hold on a second. One sec. Let's go to replay. F5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not sure. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna Google it real quick. You can enjoy the sound though. I'm so confused right now because different articles are saying different things. Wait, the track's Road America? Shoot, I might be screwed. Porsche 906. Boxer 6. Huh. I don't know. All the articles I'm reading are saying 6-cylinder. But if we look at this description, I guess. Hold on. Some had 8. Nine 906 prototypes enter in the Group 6 prototype as factory class. So this might have been like one of those ones, I guess. That would explain it, I think. So let's see. We've done Pantera. So we have the Ferrari, 67 Corvette, and Daytona. I think I'm going to save the Daytona for last. So we'll go from top down, I guess. I want to check something real quick, though. I do not have Road America installed, so I'm going to need to install that ahead of the race. So let's take this Corvette around Mugello. Haven't tested out Mugello with this car yet. Should be fun, flowing corners, high-speed sections. Get some fluid in me. Now this one, there's no doubt that it's a V8. Anyone that says this sound is a V6 is out of their mind. I'm not a fan of how this car sounds. This has way too much reverb at the top end, I think. I think this is the worst sounding car of the bunch. Thanks for that input, Nate Dog. Yeah, this has too much echo, too much reverb. It just, yeah, it sounds off. Granted, I've never been inside one of these cars in real life, but at the high end, it just sounds too digitized, I think. The other Corvette does sound better, though, in my opinion. In-game exposure looks high. This was like the default exposure. Let's turn it down a bit. But yeah, by default, Assetto Corsa exposure is always pretty high. But at least you can actually catch these slides, though. As I lose it. Okay, so let's get 1 or 2 good laps in with this car. This is only a 4-speed too. Interesting. All the other cars, I think, were either 5-speed or 6-speed, I think. CJ Rabo, I tend to honestly prefer Assetto Corsa for the modding, and then for the ease of making online events and racing against people, I think I would take Project Cars 2. It's just easier to set up online events and do a good online quick race at times. For league racing, Assetto Corsa. For pickup events, Project Cars 2, I think. It just depends on the circumstances, though. This thing does have a lot of torque, though. But Mario, I'm talking specifically for my Racing with Subscribers streams and stuff. So for Racing with Subscribers, it's just so easy to enter the game, create a lobby, and let people join. That's one of the nice parts of those servers. But yeah, at high rev, you can just hear that digitized, compressed nature of the sounds, I think. I'd say drive a classic Corvette in race room and then come in here and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So one more lap. As I completely missed the first corner. Remember, these things use old brakes. Yeah, I want to do a 24-hour race in rFactor 2 sometime. That would be a lot of fun. But I'm enjoying this. This car is a lot of fun. And Mario, if you want to join my Discord chat, link in description, we could talk about it. Did I try a new tire model on rFactor 2? Is that the one with the endurance pack? That's a lot of fun. Because I liked the tire model on the endurance pack. I thought that felt really good. Was able to keep you planted on the track pretty well. Oh, this car is quite a bit of fun being able to slide once you get past the poor sounds. So let's listen to the exterior. Very, very digitized V8 sound. This was reminding me of rFactor 1 V8 sounds in some ways, with slightly more depth. I mean, slight more grunt, but it's like that digitized sound that is near unmistakable. Still a fun car, but yeah, sounds kind of kill it for me. Could be better, but it could also be a lot worse. It could be Gran Turismo sounds. Alright, 2 cars left, guys. 2 cars left. But 1 second, I just while we are doing this, I'm actually going to download I need to download the Road America track because I do not have that. So, guys, if you are looking to try out SimRacing System, let's do a quick rundown. So, as mentioned, my race is tonight in 1 hour. 1 hour until the race. So, you would go into, create an account, go into the forums, and then you would need to download the Assetto Corsa app. So you would download the required app. And you need to install this. Note that I do not believe it works with Content Manager. You would need to use the default launcher. So you would... where's the download link, though? Interesting. Nate Dogg, even though rFactor 2 is my favorite, I'd have to say Automobilista. I think it has some of the best content available to use, in my opinion. It has a great variety. So, interesting. I'm not seeing the app. I'm not seeing the download. Am I blind or something? But yeah, I'd say if you can't, or if you can, get both. Both are freaking awesome. So, let's see, AC mod list. So, if we go to tracks, there is, where's Road America? Here it is. Let's just make sure real quick. So, race, make sure that it's at Road America this week. Yes, it is. 51 minutes away. So, download Road America. Love having good download speed. Let's see if we can see what other... so, Road America, Nürburgring Grand Prix, Imola, Silverstone, and Barcelona Moto. Should be a fun event. Kind of funny, though. They're still using my old logo for the icon. I need to give them my new logo. I thought I did already, though. Road America version 3.6. One thing I recommend, make a folder, or not make a folder, but your Steam apps common for modding and stuff, make a quick access folder for it. It comes so in handy. So, go to Assetto Corsa, and then Content, Treks, drag and drop Road America. There we go. And I think we're going to have to reinstall or reboot this though, because I don't think Road America is going to pop up. Riverside, Road Atlanta. So yeah, leave Assetto Corsa and reopen, of course. But yeah, if you guys want to join the race, it should be exciting. Assetto Corsa. Hold on a sec. I thought I saw something. DTM and Super GT to join forces. Interesting. Class 1 regulations. So, DTM and Super GT will join forces in 2019 following confirmation of new Class 1 rule set. Interesting. Should be an exciting series. So, while we're waiting, let's register for this race. Robin Graham. Okay, yeah. Last week we had that incident where I think he bumped into me. It's a racing deal. Don't have to worry about it. Always getting dating adverts. It's kind of funny, though, because if you think about it, this is a self-enclosed browser. So what I'm thinking is it's using the browsing data from the founder of Sim Racing System, Henrique. So this is a self-enclosed browser. It's not linked to any browsing data. So it just cracks me up because it's obviously not using my browsing data or anything. It's using something, though. So let's see. Road America. Well, I'm not saying he is, but it's not me. Hey, Nick, how's it going, man? Well, my story checks out. I've tried online dating before. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. I'll just warn you on that, guys. Okay, so Ferrari time! I'm more awkward, Mike. I'm way more awkward on a date. Nick, my sim racing system race is in an hour, so unfortunately I'm going to have to pass on that, but thanks for the offer. Okay, this is only 5 gears. Hit against that rev limiter there. So this thing does like to slide around a bit. Still easily catchable. It'll be interesting driving the Carrera around here, though, for a sim racing system race. So we have about 40 minutes. This corner's always a struggle for me. Drag the brake right out the corner. But yeah, I need to send out my right monitor for my warranty repair. I miss having this monitor. Fortunately, it's the one I was already having trouble with, so at least it's like, hey, it's dead, so get a new one, should fix all the issues, hopefully. Keep on wanting to shift to 6th with this car. The sounds for this are okay. Still, I think a little compressed, a little digitized, but it's definitely serviceable. Catch that slide. There we go. So I'm hoping next week I'm going to get my review out on the Heusinkveld engineering shifter. So I've been using this sequential shifter for quite a few months now, and I've been enjoying it a lot, but I want to get out my review on the shifter soon and share my thoughts on it. So that should be a video for you guys to look forward to next week. I'll be really excited to put that out. But in my opinion, it's one of the best shifters I've used. Spoiler alert. Hey, Single Racer, how's it going? But yeah, this car is quite a bit of fun. Alright, let's listen to the exterior sounds though. Let's hope they're not that bad. Okay. This might be one of the better exterior sounds in this entire mod. Actually sounds really good. I am very pleasantly surprised. I'll let you guys listen to it real quick. Not bad. Has a good sense of depth to it. Just the right amount of reverb, not too much, not too little. I have an old wheel, and when I first tested cars, they seemed very late. What does it feel like with the Get Right wheel? It does feel admittedly on the lighter side compared to other cars, but I do have a decent sense of the weight transferring, the suspension, and the tires, importantly. So, it's a good feeling. I'd say it could do with a little more weight to it. Granted, I am running at a lighter force feedback strength, but all things considered, I like the feel of it. All right, we are at the last car. The Shelby Daytona. And let's see. This is an undeniably American car. I do own Richard Burns Rally, and I have done a few live streams on it. A lot of fun. Even though I suck at it. But Watkins Glen, I think that's a good way to cap off us driving these cars. Let's see how this goes. But yeah, I want to do more RBR in the near future. Okay, that idle sound sounds good. It sounds like that big block muscle car. I would not be surprised if they use the sound from the Cobra in this. They don't. I don't think. But it sounds pretty good V8. Maybe some compression in it. Pedal to the metal! I'm guessing this is a 4-speed though. That would be my initial guess. 4-speed, yep, I'm right. Oh yeah, this is the classic no bus stop there. Okay. But this does use the boot. Das Boot. One of the things I love about direct drive wheels, and it's not the power, it's the subtleties. So consider when you are driving with a belt drive or a gear drive force feedback wheel, you are missing out on a lot of the subtle effects. So when you drive over the curves with a direct drive wheel, you feel all those subtle nuances, because with some of the lower consumer grade wheels, such as the Fanatic Club Sport wheel or the T500 or other Thrustmaster wheels, you aren't able to recreate some of those high frequency effects because those effects are lost in the belt or gear drive. But having this directly mounted on the motor, and a motor like this that's actually capable of producing high frequency effects, you can feel some of the incredibly subtle details, such as ramping up on a curve. You can feel the forces just slightly building up. It's a sensation that is extremely hard to describe, but you'd have to sort of feel it to understand it really well. It was interesting though, because I was watching Sean Cole's review on the SimuCube Open Sim wheel, and he had a great review, but I think he was missing out on touching on some of those subtle details a direct drive wheel provides that you just don't get with the consumer grade wheels. So that's a detail I'm going to touch on my review of the wheel coming soon. But yeah, I really like the fact you get those subtle nuances through a direct drive wheel that you just simply don't get through other wheels. Because one thing that pops in my mind, for example, is the tire lock-up effect. The Fanatic Club Sport wheel in some of their rims, such as the Formula rim or the Porsche 918 rim, you have those force feedback motors inside the rim that sort of, they'll vibrate when your tires are locking up. And in this wheel, you get that effect without even like needing those motors. That's a pretty awesome thing to think about, where you get that brake lockup vibration without the without that motor compensating for a like incapability in the belt drive system. So it's cool seeing those little touches, and yeah, that's, I think, one of my favorite things about going to an open sim wheel. Being able to feel those subtle nuances, being able to feel the tires skipping on the asphalt when you're going up the hill and the front wheels are feeling light. You can feel the tires skipping on the surface, struggling to get the grip. Actually, you can stay in third for this corner. So you can feel the tires skipping on the surface, trying to get the grip, trying to get the grip. And then you feel the wheel get a little more substantial when the tires do grip onto the surface. It's a good feeling and allows you to understand more of what the car is doing. And that's one of the things where a high-end wheel, it won't necessarily automatically make you a better driver, but it'll give you more tools to be able to get that better feel or better look. So one example I have is, imagine you're trying to build a table. Imagine you're trying to build a table and you only have a saw and a hammer, and obviously nails and stuff. You can build a table all right, but it's going to look rough. It's going to look weird. But if you have other tools, such as the level, if you have tools such as a ruler, you're able to measure, make the cuts properly, then you can make a better looking table. And I think that's similar to this. You need to have the basic understanding of how to drive. You have to have that basic understanding. Once you have that, then you can understand how to improve based on what the car is telling you. If you're able to better understand when the car is getting tight, if you're better able to understand when the car is getting loose, then you can really improve your driving skill. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts so far, like on the open sim wheel. I'm gonna have more thoughts coming up in my review. I want to say hopefully in 2 weeks, if I can get everything put together properly. So yeah, that should be exciting. I want to do the shifter review first, and then the open sim wheel review. Single racer? No. I've done, I think my record with this wheel is 12 hours. But the thing is that you're not going to use the full torque. Never. I I don't set the strength on this wheel higher than 30%. I want to say right now I'm at about 25% strength. So 25% strength, and it feels about on par with a Club Sport wheel. So 25% strength, this is 30. So yeah, that's 7.5 Newton meters, roughly the same as a Club Sport wheel. But there's the nice thing is you get all of the forces the Sim's trying to communicate. You're never clipping. And for those of you who don't know, clipping is when the forces are so high, it's either getting distorted or you're losing out on forces. You're never reaching that point. And wow, okay. That is a nice sound. I'm liking it. Sounds like American muscle. But yeah, for force feedback, you're never clipping. You are never getting to that point where you're losing out on the forces. You could be feeling the full strength under the corner, under load, and then you touch the curbs, you're still going to feel those curbs. On a Club Sport wheel, if you're clipping, you're not going to feel those curbs. Excuse me. That's one of the nice things about it. And also, this wheel is just miles smoother, more precise, and quicker. So, sorry. So, Norman, that... I was not a fan of that comparison on Sean's review. Sean is great, but he did make some mistakes in that content. So for that comparison, when he was using that figure, it wasn't exactly accurate. When you're driving in iRacing, you're using the force feedback in iRacing, that percentage doesn't work like other sims. For a direct drive wheel with the linear force feedback mode in iRacing, you need to check INI setting in an INI file to be able to get the proper force feedback percentage. So that 13% was not real 13% strength. So that comparison didn't really work. It was kind of making some mistakes with the way that iRacing describes the force feedback. And yeah, so that 13% strength would be more like 70 or 80% strength with the direct drive wheel. Have you ever heard anything good or bad about the Rally Legends mod? I've heard decent things, but the problem lies in where it is. A lot of people don't like the fact that it's payware. I haven't tried any of the payware cars myself, but I've heard mixed things about them. I like to think they're good. I've tested one of the Rally Legends cars and enjoyed it, the free one, but yeah, I haven't tested anything beyond that, unfortunately. All right, so that was us wrapping up the AC Legends mod. Now we are going to switch over to the we're switching over to practicing and then the race for Sim Racing System. So I just added plus Sim Racing Systems race to the description. That's one way to do it. Race is coming up. Session should open in about 20 minutes. Yeah, I offered earlier on to Sean, I think, about him calling me about settings and stuff. Did my direct drive wheel bring any car in Assetto Corsa up? In general, most cars, yeah. Like, it is a significant step up. Being able to feel more of the subtle effects and subtle nuances, it really does bring the force feedback to life if you set it up properly. For example, going over curbs feels a lot better. So let's get an idea on how to drive this track, because this should be an interesting race. Okay, so this car is a bit different than the AC Legends. So AC Legends, they did modify the physics a bit. This car is a little slower, a little more difficult to handle, I think. Which isn't a bad thing, it's just different. So yeah, after this race, I do have to call it a night. I am going to see the new Jurassic World movie with a couple friends, so yeah, just a heads up. Oh, I love that slide, though. I'd say my goal for this race is a top 10. I might be a little optimistic with that because I don't really know Road America too well. But, hey, it's always a mission. Well, it's good. It's a good movie. I mean, Jurassic World was okay. Nothing like great, but I liked it. So hopefully Fallen Kingdom's pretty good as well. This is a deceptively tricky track because it's a lot of fast straights and then followed by tighter corners. And then there's the big sweeper with the long straight, the kink, very tight right-hander. So yeah, it's a tricky track, but it's fun. Overcooked, overcooked. But somehow we still kind of survived. This should be an exciting race. Let's hope that the other racers are as bad at this track as I am. Ever thought of branching out to movie review? Well, I have considered doing a side project channel called The Wild World of Will. Thinking it's a general all-purpose channel, talk about game reviews, movie reviews, lifestyle stuff. Tech reviews, but I think it would also be kind of to help me get more comfortable in front of a camera, do more experimental videos, get more comfortable speaking in front of a camera, things like that. So I have thought about it before. We might need to do a lower downforce setup with this car, just thinking off the top of my head. So... $238. Let's go back to pits. Do some quick setup tweaks. Let's check something though. Generic. So, is there a way to do suspension? Maybe. Single racer, yeah. Who knows? So, save. Let's do that. And see if that changes anything characteristic-wise about this car. Because lowering the rear would mean less air is pushing on the rear of the car, which would be lower downforce. Fat Beach, never heard of it. We gotta get heat in these tires though. Thanks, Jack. I know there's still a lot of room for improvement. I'm just not a big fan of this track yet. Still need to learn more characteristics about it. But at least I can keep the car on the track, which is one of the big things. Cold tires, cold tires. Well, Snake, if you have Sim Racing System, you can join us in about 20 minutes. We're racing the Carrera RSR at Road America. Exciting race. My goal is top 10. That might be a little over optimistic, but hey, it's worth a shot. I want to say I got 9th last race. Yeah, this is a third-party mod version of the track, so this could be inaccurate compared to iRacing. I know iRacing's version's laser scanned at least. But also, I know that Road America might have had a repave recently, so who knows. Let's see how this goes. Actually, my braking point, I could move it all the way forward to that runoff track, I think. Okay, little oversteer. Sorry for hitting the mic, guys. I think I like Road Atlanta a little more. Maybe a little more. Just more elevation changes, has a nice flow to it. This car just wants to oversteer on throttle big time. So we'll get one more lap after this, and then we will wait for the lobby to open up. We're 1/10 and a half up though, okay. Big wobble, yep. That's like the nickname for this car, Big Wobble. So we're going to move our braking point back for next lap. But it's interesting, our right front tire is still pretty cold. Thanks, Brian. This car is the Porsche 911 Carrera RSR. Okay, so brake. There we go. Slightly better. That's one way to take that corner. Just lock it up and let the car pitch itself in. Little more oversteer there. Oh, it seems like in a lot of sim racing system races, I just can't catch a break, but then people will apologize to me after. That's how it seems like it goes. I don't get the full Jimmy Broadbent or gamer muscle treatment, though. But yeah, when you tame this car down, it can be pretty fun. And thank you, Snake Pliskin, for subscribing. Jimmy's a good driver, actually, when he actually tries. When Jimmy tries, he's a good driver. I think he might be one of the best sim racing YouTubers that isn't, like, professional. When he puts his mind to it, I will repeat that. When he's just goofing off, he is a total goofball. But I have no trouble saying that Jimmy is a better driver than me. But he'll just goof off for the sake of entertainment. Whoa! Okay, that was a big bump. Later on, I'll have to see if I could actually beat some of Jimmy's records, but also, he's like a Nordschleife ringer. Like, he actually, I'd say he knows the virtual version of that track like the back of his hand, in some ways. He's better at the Nordschleife than I am. Full lock, and we saved it. SimRacer604, he's a decent driver. I haven't really raced against him, so I can't really speak much for that. He's a great guy, though. I can say that. I don't know much about his sim racing skills. But it was a lot of fun doing the Sim Racing Perspective podcast with him. He's a real nice guy. And it was fun doing that with him and Davy Jones. And I forgot the other guy. But I know for a fact I can beat Gamer Muscle in races. All right, it is 5:50 p.m. or 5:51 p.m. now. So let's go into the lobby and wait for this race to begin and see how many people are signed up. So we logged a 234,787. I have no clue how that'll compare. I have never raced against Nikki. I've never been able to. Granted, I don't really do iRacing as much as I used to. So let's see real quick. So race. See how many people are signed up. 20 people signed up for the race. But that's not the important part. Sign up for the experience of your life. Romance tale. I don't think those are real. But yeah, so let's see. Decent turnout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 North Americans. So that'll be interesting. Hey, Mike, how's it going? You gonna join this race? Taffy Yamamoto. That should be funny. But yeah, I know that, like, Nicky, he does a good job in his racing. He's a good racer. And I've been hearing good things. Like, he keeps on, like, actually winning in professional events, which is pretty freaking awesome. And that means he is a great spokesperson for sim racing. Better than Scott Speed. Wait, is Austin in this race? I don't see Austin. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, though, because if you remember, Scott Speed banned from iRacing. Now he is back and he's being a spokesperson. So that's going to be interesting. Or not just spokesperson, but he got the free buy into the championship. So I think it's interesting. I think iRacing is trying to exploit Scott Speed to get more controversy, get more footage and everything. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that move from iRacing. So we'll see how it goes. YT Biggs. I don't really know. Who is YT Biggs? I think I've seen that channel before. If I remember. But yeah, so we'll see how everything goes with iRacing, and who knows, maybe like Scott Speed will finally like be more tamed. E-Money, yeah, understandable. Like, he was never suspended forever, but once he got suspended, he just kept on digging himself into a deeper hole where he was trying to sell his rig, insult other drivers. It's just like, meh. So let's just hope that he actually like will race to race. That's one of the things. Like, I always get these comments on that video still. That video is still one of my, or it is my most popular on YouTube, and I'm still getting like thousands of views on it. So he is, everyone says, haha, it's just a game. Why would someone stupid do something like, why are you taking this so seriously? And the thing is, it's a hobby. It's something that we enjoy. It's something we're passionate about. And like, realistically, I likely will never get a chance to race in a real world racing series. So this is realistically the closest that I'll ever get in my life. Maybe outside of doing a racing school at, say, Sonoma or whatever comes after Skip Barber or something like that. So doing this, we get the potential to actually race with people around the world, and we get to enjoy that. So iRacing, one of the nice things with iRacing, one of the nice things with Sim Racing System is it provides an organized championship system for us to be able to compete in. It provides this opportunity for us to actually compete in a way that is sort of resembling real world racing. So that's why we take this so seriously. That's why we get ticked off when someone decides, oh, we're going to use another car as our brake. That's why we get upset. And that's why we also get upset when a major real life race car driver gets, like, his temper gets the best of him and he goes out on a rampage towards a sim racer. Because he's a real world racer, we expect to put him to a higher standard. Whether that's fair or not remains to be seen, but putting the driver to a higher standard is something we are going to try to do, because he gets opportunities that we never get. We're likely never going to race in the new America's Rallycross series, and Scott Speed, he gets his run in Rallycross in real life. So yeah, we're going to hold him to a higher standard. And if he violates that standard, we're going to hold him accountable at the same way. We're going to hold him accountable to the same standard. So yeah, that's why we take it so seriously. That's why I made the video about Scott Speed. That's why I'm considering making another video about Scott Speed and his return to iRacing. It's because he was established as a role model, not just for kids, but also to just sim racers. Thank you, Web Guy Mike. Thank you. But yeah, he's a role model for the racing community. He's a spokesperson. So when the spokesperson for sim racing treats sim racing like a joke, that's something we're gonna hold him accountable for. Rant over. Let's get some practice in. Okay. Let's get a feel for the behavior of this car and how much rubber's on the track. Feels like the track might have a little more rubber than in our practice session, which is nice. Should have rev matched there. Alright, Jack, have fun, man, and thanks for watching. But yeah, I would love the opportunity to do the racing school local to me, but it is so freaking expensive. I want to say for the one-day program, it is $1,700 for the one-day program at the Sim Raceway Performance Driving Center, they call it. Did you just call them believers? Really? Wow. But yeah, that's the one-day program with what's their version of an open-wheel race car. So yeah, very expensive. I want to say they do have programs with either Mitsubishi or Audi that are like $600, $700. So let's see how this goes. So we got some heat in these tires. Ease into turn 1. On the throttle. There we go. Yes, you do pay for damage. I want to say... so, fun fact. When I was 17... I actually did a go-kart racing school. And what they do is they have you sign a liability form saying you're liable for up to $500 in damage. So if you encounter $500 of basically, if you encounter damage during the school, you would have to pay up to $500 depending. But consider, if you ride off a go-kart, that's $4 grand, roughly. So, if you ride off the $4,000 go-kart, you'd only pay $500. So, that's what the liability form is, to comply with their insurance. So, with that, I'd say it is higher with a real car. But actually, I did encounter damage in the go-kart class, and I had to pay $170 out of pocket because of the damage. Because a guy wrecked me. And unfortunately, with the school, you aren't responsible for fault. So even if the wreck is the other guy's fault, you have to pay for the damages, which was unfortunate. It was a pain, but hey, could have been a lot worse. I mean, that accident nearly broke my arm, actually. Whereas, like, I spun out avoiding a guy, actually a girl who spun. I spun out avoiding her, and then a guy behind me spun out, forgot to lock the brakes, and backed into me. So that was unfortunate. But it's life. Damage is a way of life. But yeah, so so I'd say with like the open wheel car or even the road car programs, if you wreck, you're going to be liable for maybe up to like $5 grand or something. That would be my guess off the top of my head. Full House Gaming pack's a lot of fun. We actually finished up with the pack, but we are doing the sim racing system race now. And E-Money, don't be like that. There are a lot of really good female race car drivers. It's an unfortunate circumstance. When you're trying to learn something, spinning out is a part of life. So spinning out happens, and sometimes people forget to lock the brake, which is unfortunate, and that ended up with me getting hit. Okay, so let's see real quick. We'll do 12 liters. Should be an exciting session. Average qualifying position, I'd say like around maybe 10th or so. That's usually where I qualify average. We'll see how this goes, though. Whoa! Okay, that was close. RIP headphone users. I was gonna say, if that black Porsche stuck that corner, I was gonna be like, what? Seems like a lot of drivers are having trouble, though. So I think it's important we qualify high up and don't worry about those people behind us, because I think after the first few corners, we'll get clear of them, I think. I know, low fuel indicator. We're okay, though. I think this is really going to be a survival of the fittest race. Because this car even ran wide. Full house. Okay, so we have the slipstream from this guy at least. Taking conservative into turn one. Little lockup. Rear end stepped out a bit. Sorry to hear that, single racer. Hopefully you'll be able to make some races later on. That's one way to make a pass. Let's see how this lap turns out. Fifth quick, okay. Little over rev there. Whoa, whoa, big lag, Spike, big lag. To be honest, I still haven't tried Crew Chief. I'll have to try it later on. Need to figure out how to properly set that up. Keep on hearing good things about it, though, so I think that's a positive thing. Yeah, E-Money, I still can't believe I got a like-new G27 for 80 bucks a couple of months ago. That wheel will really come in handy for testing out some consumer-grade sims and stuff. Or like SimK titles, as people like to put it. Whoops. Okay, so we are a little off on the time chart. 9th place. Oh yeah, we lowered our ride height to 40 before. But we had to get our race set up. So 230, 10 is more than enough. We'll do 28 liters. Save as race. But it's always funny because one of the top posts on the Sim Racing subreddit was that guy who made a coffin into a sim rig. And it's always funny thinking, yeah, that would have been me if I told my ex how much I spent on sim racing stuff. Okay, let's give this a go. So we're not going to get another lap in, unfortunately. Aw, man. That stinks. Didn't have anywhere to go. Let's get a feel for this car. Looks like we're going to qualify 9th at least. Slideways. Go. Should be an exciting race, guys. Should be an exciting race. We qualified outside the top 10, though. But it seems like a lot of these drivers, they spin. I think we have a better setup for us. So, okay guys, projection time. What position do you think I am going to be in? Or do you think I'm going to get punted out of the race? I love the feeling of the rear end stepping out on this car. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of rFactor 2. There we go. Qualifying's over. I'm going to drop the gearing just a wee bit. I think that'll be okay. Seventh place. Okay, let's see. Punt in turn 1 or I'll finish 8th. Okay. Engine sounds like it's chewing on metal. That's the good part. Good start. Avoid the one car. There we go. Pick up 2 spots in the first corner. I think this gearing adjustment was a smart move. I just realized we weren't hitting the rev limiter in the long straights. Another car off the track. 2 cars off the track. There we go. Red Porsche behind me is bad fast. Another spinner. Make sure we don't join him. This red Porsche is going to pass me on the straight, I think. Nothing I can really do about it. So now we just need to build our gap if we can. So we're in 5th, I think. Because this guy was in 5th place when we crossed the start-finish line. Then he passed me. There we go. Little oversteer, lock up there. Swing to the left so we can carry more speed through this sweeper. Come on throttle. So let's see what gap we have across the line. Getting a little sweaty here. Let's see what the gap is. It was about 1.7 seconds before. 2.4 seconds now. That's good. So we just need to build up that gap. We made 0.7 seconds up. Not good, not good, not good. Dang it. So I guess we're going to have a battle now. Fudge. Well, that's why I won Mulligan for the race, guys. So let's see if I can actually close in. I don't know if I can, but we'll try. We're in the gamer muscle spot, though. I think we're going to be in 7th. Okay, yep, we are. It's just frustrating. I just don't have an idea on what I'm missing in my setup to miss out on all of this front straightaway speed. Everyone seems faster on the straightaway. I don't know if there's like a low downforce configuration I'm missing out on. Maybe it says I'm not getting the proper drive off or something. Then this black guy is just super fast behind me. We're also race is only halfway over. Plenty of time for people to make mistakes, including myself. And how do you drive it like a Porsche? Fair enough. Well, he just slid the rear end too much. This should build a healthy gap. Never heard of that. Okay, 6.5 minutes left. Over rev the engine. No! Just hit a CPU spike or something. I'm calling that a save. So I just had like a CPU slowdown or something. Whew, that was scary. USA has Kinder Eggs, just not with the toys. Too many kids choked on it or something. Gotta settle down my car. I'd be perfectly fine with 6th, I think. Christopher, you missed an eventful start. And my tires are going south on me. So let's just take it easy now. Guitar solo. All right, we have about 2 laps left, maybe 1. Gotta conserve my tires now. Guys right behind me though. He ran a little wide. Oh, that was a massive lockup. VR isn't as good for live streaming. It takes up more system resources, it reduces my interaction with people, and could be disorienting for the watcher. That is why I am not streaming in VR. Okay, one more lap. What the heck? Are you serious? Hold your line, man. I was holding my line. Throttle. There we go. He doesn't have to run. He does not have to run. And we are going to finish in 6th. Woo! Oh. Oh, man. Oh. Man, that's a good way to finish a race. So, oh man. Top 6, guys, top 6. I will take that. So, I am going to call it a night, guys. Fun racing, fun testing out the AC Legends mod. So, yeah. Soon, I'm going to test out some more stuff. Also get my review of the Heusinkveld shifter ready. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.